Welcome back. Welcome back. Thank you for being here. Today is a spicy one. Let me tell you, we are learning about basic agentic workflows. I have built out a couple of workflows in my system, and I want to share those with you. And before the end of this video, you will see exactly each step to these automations and why I chose those steps in these automations, which LLMs am I using, and so on. So let's get into it. If you're new here, I do have a history in HR and employee benefits, but lately I have taken up an interest in agentic workflows. I have been working with Hermes. I'm stumbling because I like to call him Hermes. I think Hermes just sounds abundantly better. And I want to give you this heads up before we get started, so that way you can come along with me on this ride that we are about to take together. I say Hermes, not Hermes, but I mean Hermes, which is an agent, a type of agent like OpenClaw. Well, anyway, Hermes. And today I want to go over these agentic workflows with you. I asked Hermes to create a agentic workflow chart so you can see some basic processes that we run in our system every day. And they are very simple processes. So we'll see what Hermes came up with here. I wanted to walk through some of these with you so that we can talk about different show LLM nodes. So under nightly podcast, so each day Hermes runs a nightly podcast. He's supposed to have fresh research every day for this. And as I click on a node, it is supposed to I asked him to create an interactive HTML where when I click on the area of the workflow that over here on the right, I can see what it means. And this node, it says research and refresh at 3 p.m. every day. Collect fresh research from HN GitHub. Model is Gemma 3. Cost rationale, this is local. I have a local Gemma 3 model here on my own hardware. So every time we use this model, it is 100% for free. So why are we doing this? Why not just go over to Claude.ai and type something in and have it magically produce me a podcast every day? And the reason is really one, I want to build agentic workflows on my own hardware. I don't want to have to go to Claude.ai to get a nightly pod. And I don't want my nightly podcast to cost me an arm and a leg. We all know that AI is being, maybe we don't all know. I believe that AI will become a lot more expensive, possibly even 10 times more expensive than it is today. And even if it doesn't, even if the cost stays 100% exactly the same as it is today over the next 12 months, I just personally don't feel comfortable building business workflows on someone else's platform. If I have the ability to build it on my own platform or a platform that allows me to retain my own data and my own information and make sure that the LLMs are not trained on my data or any of my workflows, I want to keep all of those here with me. Call me paranoid, call me a princess, call me what you will. I also want to learn more. What's the best way of learning is setting up my own agentic workflows and understanding why each step of the process is designed the way it is. And this step was designed originally with Fable, okay? And then I took it over to my Hermes in an MD file, and we started working on this process together and turning it into reality. And the nightly podcast reviews everything that we have learned together, meaning Hermes and I at this moment, and helping me digest the workings of the day. Okay. Because I learn better with audio. So I am looking to design processes that support me as the founder of this system. And this was one of my ideas. I wanted to see how it looks and feels, how it works, and how to fine tune it and continue to make it more useful to me as Hermes and I continue to work together. So, this first step is we have to have fresh research every night. And he runs fresh research every night. Then we have a gate here. So he is checking the age of the data before it goes to the next step, before it goes to topic selection. There's a gate that is run, and there's no model here. This is just 100% pure code. This is a deterministic part of the process. So this first part is probabilistic, which means it has a risk of being corrupt. It's not always going to give me 100% the right answer. LLMs are considered probabilistic because I'm running this through an LLM. The agent could misunderstand the prompt or the task, could come back with different results every time. There's some variability in this first step because there has to be. Research will have a different result each and every time. And the second step is here to ensure that the first step actually happened. Is there new research from the day before? Yes or no? It's deterministic. You don't have to have LLMs on every step of the process. And in fact, you should not have LLMs at every step in the process. The next step is select 3 topics for the podcast segments. This is run with Gemma 3 again. It's a local model. It's 100% free. It's a research digest, freshness pass, select topics listed. This is agentic work. This is not coded work. It's a cron schedule. And then the next step is generating the podcast script, also with Gemma 3, mix of free models and cheap cloud. So it's also using GLM 5.2 to review this part of the process. And selected topics is the input, and the output is a script JSON with segments. So I originally had Hermes create the podcast just in my voice. I had him clone my voice, and we were just doing the podcast in my voice, and I decided that was too dull. I wasn't listening. I was tuning out, to be quite frank with you. And that's when I asked him to turn it into a podcast where it's me and another, I forget which agent it is. It's supposed to be an agent. I think it's supposed to be like the content engine expert or something like that. Agent is the other voice, and we go back and forth several times in the podcast. All right. So that's the script generation. And then TTS, this is to convert the script to audio using voice cloning. Model is XTTS. This is local and free. Audio MP3 is the output file, and this is coded. And this is a cron as well. And then it goes down here to deploy. Okay. It deploys every day at 7 p.m. and there's an email notification with a link. That is the final step in this automation. Then we go over to the content engine. Over here, this is the content engine. There is an email intake form. The idea and the intake form is using Quen 2.5. This is a fast model. It, again, is local and free. And then it goes over to idea parse, also done with Quen B. Local 32B model is high quality and free because we have it here locally and on my hardware. Then we go over to the outline. This is put into, there's a couple of different templates that we have. He's supposed to choose randomly which one. We're always fine tuning this, where I'm always creating custom presentations and kind of going outside of this content engine, which is actually what I did to create this HTML here, because it's not a slide. It's just one big fat HTML page that's got all these links to different parts of the process. For me, I felt like this was the best way for me to illustrate to you exactly what's going on in our system. Then the next step is the content generation. It writes the actual slide content using Qwen 332B. This, again, is a local model and free. The outline is in JSON. The output is content in JSON with slides, and the coding is agentic at this step. Then the next step is HTML build. This is where they assemble the HTML and the presentation from content. Here we go. Let me try to zoom in on this for you. See it right there. That's the HTML. That's the B loop. And this is where they assemble the HTML presentation from content. The model is none. This is pure code, zero cost. Context is JSON, that's the input, and the output is an HTML file. And this is agentic or coded work. This is not agentic work. This is coded work. And this cron runs every 5 minutes to catch those, because I send out requests at random times. It could be at midnight, it could be at 3 a.m. in the morning, it could be at noon. Whenever I get an idea, I send a request off to the content engine, and it produces a presentation, whether I use it or I don't. I designed it that way because I'm one of those people, if I don't see it, I have a hard time adjusting. So I want to see the output. What am I going to do? Review the HTML code before it goes out? No. I want to see a visual output, and then I can go back to Hermes and iterate from there. But the rule is, even if I put in 2 sentences in the submission form, it doesn't matter. He has to create a presentation with that and then the final output is a presentation emailed to me. That's it. Okay. So it's got the trigger, which is my request to him, and then the output is an email to me with the presentation. It doesn't matter if I put 10 paragraphs of information in that request or if I put 1 sentence. He has to at least give me 15 slides, and this is the process for that. Okay. They deploy the HTML to Tailnet. And this is no model. This is 100% pure code, zero cost. The input is an HTML file. The output is a live brief URL. This is 100% coded, and it runs every day. And then a notification is sent to Melissa with a presentation link. There's no model, no agent work here. It's pure code, zero cost. The input is a live presentation URL. The output is an email sent. Again, this is 100% coded, so no LLM calls, no API key costs, nothing like that. And the cron runs every 5 minutes. All right. Then we go down to the morning brief. The first step is the snapshot of the Kanban, alarms, probes, presentations queue. That's the operation on this node. The model is none. This is pure code, zero cost. Its input is the system state. Its output is the snapshot of the JSON. Next step is digest builder. So the digest builder is run. That's the operation. There's no model involved. This is 100% pure code. It's a snapshot. JSON is the input. The output is a digest JSON. And again, it's 100% coded. Then we go over to the HTML render. And this is also pure code. It's render HTML from the digest. There's no model at all. This is just coding. We go over to deploy HTML to Tailnet. No model, again, 100% pure coding. And then it goes out in the email. Again, no model is used, no agentic work. This is pure coding. Let me go over here to the infrastructure. We've got cron jobs. That's the B loop. Over to the system probes. And the cron jobs, these are all schedule, all pipelines. So this is the cron jobs. Its operation is schedule all pipelines. And this is the B loop, which goes over to the system probes, which is 30 plus scripts monitoring the system's health. There's no model involved at all here. It's pure code. Then we go over to the GX10 for Olama. This is multiple models are on here. It's free local inference, and inputs is HTTP requests, and the output is LLM completions. WSL, this is a Windows systems for Linux hosting. Hermes, model is none. This is free, and Linux commands are the input, and the output are the outputs. Then we go over to V3 services. So this is Agent HQ, Registry, Action Center, and Auditing System. There's no model. It's HTTP requests. Output is API responses, and it's 100% coded. So I briefly wanted to go over this with you to show that when I started working with AI, I was 100% LLM. All I did was go into a chat and type to the LLM, and the LLM gives you whatever probabilistic answer it processes as the next right answer or the next right response. And as I started working with agentic workflows, I realized that we needed to build in, or I learned that we needed to build in parts of the process that double check the work of the agents and can be coded, because some of these answers to the questions that go through each step in the process are deterministic. There's just a simple yes or no answer. Is the code done and written, or is it not? Yes or no. And these yes or no answers can be coded into the system. And my point is that not every step of the process should be agentic work, unless you want complete madness, unless you want drift, unless you want complete inconsistency in your outputs, deterministic steps in the process and workflows will be necessary. All right. And I wanted to give this to you in a easy to understand way. Hopefully I have done that. If you find this information useful or interesting, or see any value in it at all, I would appreciate it if you liked the video, wrote a comment down below, and shared it with a friend. It really helps me out. I would appreciate that very much. And thank you for hanging out with me until the end, and we will see you next time. Bye bye.